Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
You do. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Happy Monday, moviegoers. Welcome to episode 220. Welcome to the Hurricane, and welcome to the Cine-Men movie podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and I'm joined here by the cast, the crew, the one fella. Just the one fella only. Zach, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, buddy. How about you?
Man, you know, I'm doing pretty good. Life is a roller coaster. As you can see, two of our counterparts aren't here, but it's okay because no matter what, Zach, what do we always do? We always put out a brand new episode every single Monday. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to, who's here with me. The content is here. I want to say thank you to everybody joining us here live on Imsawa YouTube channel, here on Imsawa Productions. Great YouTube channel. If you guys love wrestling, horror movies, everything in between, there's new content coming out almost literally every single day. But Zach, did you have the Monday blues today?
I did have the Monday blues, man. It's gonna be a short week at work. Thanksgiving is this week, and it's just if we can just get through. We got through today, tomorrow, and Wednesday we'll be good to go.
2 more days, Zach. I got 2 more days as well. It was a Monday for sure. My car got broken into.
Man.
It's been a battle, but you know what? Still went to work here at the podcast. There's just no stopping me.
Let's just say this, folks. If the Earth was being swallowed whole by the sun, Johnny will be on here doing a podcast. You watch.
So, you know what? That's just not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, we're just trying. We're just chugging along. It's also been a very A24 weekend. Nice little glossy packaging right there. As you can see, another one added to the wall of A24 fame.
If you ever get a mansion, like you're just gonna have like one of those libraries, a bookshelf, just all dedicated to A24,
like the Beauty and the Beast library.
Yes.
Speaking of library,
hey, did you go get yourself a card?
I did not. But last week, guys, was a very fun episode. It was a little kind of a roller coaster of a ride, just like the movie we talked about. Last week, we talked about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. If you guys want to listen to that episode, go back and listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts at. iTunes, Spotify, Anchor, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon Music. You can also check us out on the Prescribed Films Network, www.prescribedfilms.com is where you can find us at. Also, if you guys are interested in some social media, we're giving away some digital copies almost every other week. You can find out our schedule on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Speaking of schedule, guys, next week, this was supposed to be Denzel month. A few weeks ago, we talked about the Magnificent Seven. Today, we're talking about the Hurricane. Next week, we were supposed to talk about Man on Fire, but we're pushing that back a week. And next week, we are talking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, because of some of the sad news that we found out early yesterday morning on the passing of Jason David Frank, which if you grew up in the 90s, you knew who he was, where he was. He was the Power Ranger of Power Rangers, and it's almost like he got more popular after the show went off the air. But
was he in the original?
Yeah, he was in the original show and the movie, which is what we're going to be talking about next week. So we'll save most of that talk for next week. So if you guys want to follow along, find it wherever you can and watch it. It's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie from 1995. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. But you guys can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word, the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Twitter is at Cine-Men405. And then the email, probably the easiest, fastest way to reach us is cinemen921@gmail.com. We're not doing an email bag today for the simple fact that I just have not had time to get in the email bag and respond to anybody's emails. But we will get to it next week. I'll have a little bit extra time off of work this week, and I'll be able to get in there and respond to some emails. Because I'm really, really interactive. I don't like to read somebody's email aloud if I don't respond and say a thank you to them. So,
I get that.
Yeah. But other than that, man,
library, Mighty Power, the movie library. So, fretting, you need to be able because it's not anywhere.
You're kind of breaking up there, Zach.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up there just a little bit. Still kind of frozen.
My internet, crappy late. Hold on, real quick. Let's see, but go on.
But while Zach's messing with the internet, I wanted to bring up some movie news other than the sad passing of Jason David Frank. I did want to bring up to everybody, the Disney COO news that was going on this week. Just been a really, I don't know if
it's been an odd. It's been a very odd week.
It's been an odd week, yeah. But what are your thoughts on the whole Disney CEO thing? I don't think it's going to matter. I think it's still going to be about corporate greed and anything else that he can probably get his hands on.
I think that while I don't really know the whole complete story of the Disney CEO and all that jazz, but what I will say, I mean, I think Bob Iger did a little bit better job than Chepik, who I think he was kind of in for money, and like you said, Johnny, just corporate greed. Bob Iger is much more on. I think he's much more open on ideas and wanting directors to do their thing and not just like, yeah, let's just worry about money. Let's try to make good quality products. So
yeah, which is true. But other than that, man, I think we can go ahead and get on to the next because that's all the bring up I have in some movie news.
Yeah.
You check anything out this past weekend as far as any recent watches?
Yeah, we got a couple things on the list at this time. The Hurricane, which we're talking about today, Man on Fire, which we'll be talking about here in 2 weeks. There's a nice little 45-minute documentary that ABC did the week before Black Panther: Wakanda Forever came out. It's called Black Panther: In Search of Wakanda. And they talk about like the phenomenon that the first movie became. They talk about this film, the passing of Chadwick, the music, the costume, the design, the production. And they interview Simone Bozeman, Chadwick's widow, and it's a very, if you're kind of still in the Black Panther mode, I highly recommend it. You can watch it on Hulu. And Two Towers, Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, which we'll be talking about in December. HBO Max it up, and Johnny, get excited! Yellowstone is back.
Man,
watch the 2-episode premiere, and it's going to be an interesting season.
So you watch the 2-hour premiere. Is it on every Sunday after that?
Yep.
So the first episode was 2 hours, and then you watched the one yesterday?
No, it's a 2-hour premiere, but each episode's an hour, and then I haven't watched last night's episode yet.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you how long was the third episode.
Judging by each episode was probably about 50 minutes, so it's
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then
I'm excited. I don't have Paramount Network, so it looks like I'm just going to have to wait for the physical media copy, which is fine with me because I'm going to get it anyway.
And Tulsa King, still show, just watching it every Sunday as it comes out. It's really fun to watch it, just to see where you could notice in the background, like last night's episode has the Stockyards in it. And I was just like, oh, that's cool. It's like right around the corner from Rodeo Cinema, one of our sponsors. So it was cool.
Nice. Was it that's on Amazon Prime, right?
That's on Tulsa King's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
So again,
Um,
but if I had to recommend anything, definitely check out The Hurricane, check out Two Towers, and if you're still, like I said, in the Marvel mindset and Black Panther, check out the little documentary Black Panther in Search of Wakanda on Hulu. So
and the Hurricane, if I'm not mistaken, if you don't own the movie, is on Paramount Plus, right?
it's like a subscription to Showtime or Stars or something like that. So it's not like on Paramount Plus.
I got to watch some pretty new releases and got to rewatch some stuff. So I checked out A Christmas Story Christmas.
Uh-oh.
It's not terrible. It's not as bad as you think it is. IMDb actually gives it a 7.4.
What do you give it?
I would probably give it about a 6.
Okay.
It's not terrible. It's actually a pretty fun watch, especially if you love the original one. I checked
A lot
out
of callbacks.
a lot of callbacks, and there's some original cast members that come back. So
Okay.
I checked out The Hurricane, obviously, for today's episode. I checked out Watcher, the 2022 or the 2022 horror thriller movie
Oh yeah.
about a woman who moves to Romania with her boyfriend or her husband, and she gets stalked by a lady killer.
Oh yeah.
Really big Jeffrey Dahmer vibes. Really good movie. Highly recommend it. I gave that one like an 8. Watched Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And then you know what I'm gonna recommend?
What's that?
Bullet Train.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Bullet Train.
What do you think about it?
I honestly loved it. It was funny. It was a ride. It kind of kept you guessing for a little bit throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was funny, man. And if you're going into this movie with an open mind, I think you're gonna have a hell of a good time, especially with people like Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson. You get a little cameo from Channing Tatum's in there. Dude, I thought it was just a real fun movie.
Yeah, that's one that I kind of wish that I had seen in the theater because it was just kind of it was just a real fun thrill ride,
Yeah,
and it really kept you guessing. So
yeah.
which I appreciated.
It reminded me of a British gangsters whodunit.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it was funny, man. I found myself laughing out loud multiple times, and it really snuck up on me. It's gonna surprise me on where that movie fits on my top 10 list for the year. To be honest
Oh
with you.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I had to recommend anything, Bodies, 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 and Bullet Train, and then Hurricane is obviously the Hurricane is obviously on like Zach said, Paramount Plus some, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
And then you know what? A Christmas Story Christmas is on HBO Max. So
Go Max HBO Max it up.
HBO Max it up. But Zach, you have some interesting truth facts about the Hurricane.
Absolutely. So Denzel Washington trained for over a year with a boxing coach to achieve the stamina and physical build. Wesley Snipes and Samuel L. Jackson vied for the lead role. Reuben the Hurricane Carter was actually discharged from the military after 4 court-martials, which basically adds up to of 21 months of service. The movie shows him returning as a hero. And the Hurricane is considered the quote-unquote third and final part of a loose trilogy of racism-themed films directed by Norman Jewison. The first being In the Heat of the Night, and the second one, another Denzel movie, A Soldier Story.
But they are all completely separate stories.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like the I was gonna say the Before trilogy, but that's all connected. So this is it's just kind of like a loose theme trilogy.
How lucky is this director to have worked with Sidney Poitier, right? If I said that right, and Denzel Washington.
That's pretty impressive.
I'm not even going to put their race in there. 2 of the greatest of all time.
Yeah, and that's I don't know how you could really I don't know how you can match that, to be honest.
Yeah, greatest of all times, and I can't wait. We're just literally about a month away to talk about Denzel. Top 5 plus 5. So we've been building up for an entire year. Zach, I think this is the first time we've done that, where we started the year with a Denzel movie in the month of January, and we've just built the entire 12 months up.
Yeah, because normally we just the way our the behind the scenes is we kind of think of an idea and kind of play around with it, and we just throw it in there. But this, yeah, you're right. This is the first time that we kind of built up to a top 5+5.
Yeah. But now it's time for our most favorite and sacred segment of the show. Today we're talking our top 5 Thanksgiving activities. So, all right. So we're talking our top 5 Thanksgiving Day, whether it's Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving weekend. We're talking our top 5 Thanksgiving activities. So should be pretty fun. Zach, you're completely frozen. There you
Right.
go. Do you have any honorable mentions?
No, I just have my top 5. Anything, go ahead.
I do not. I think we're just gonna stop and hop in right at number 5. So what's number 5 for you?
Number 5 is kind of a cliche, but it's getting ready for Christmas, preparing for Christmas. Our family, or I guess me and my mom, we kind of start things a little early. We get the lights on the house, we get the trees set up, get them decorated, and kind of just do. Really, this weekend we kind of just set up and do stuff outside in the windows and stuff. And so it's kind of like we kind of want to have a whole month of Christmas around the house. And really, it starts a couple weeks ahead of schedule, really in the early part of November. But this week, as we kind of set everything up and it's ready, good to go. So, what's your number 5?
Past tense, I guess I could say. I really don't have a lot of people around me this year anymore to do some of these activities. But I guess I could say what I would normally do or what I might do this year still. But number 5 for me is going to probably be put up the Christmas tree.
There you go. So can I put up the tree?
It's always like around Thanksgiving, whether the week before, or the week of, or the day of, or the day after. And usually put up a Christmas tree, so it kind of goes in with that good Christmas, Thanksgiving
Spirit.
Yeah. So that's probably a Thanksgiving activity that I would try to do. So number 5 is put up the Christmas tree.
Nice.
What about number 4 for you, Zach?
Number 4 is just watching some TV, whether it be some classic football, the Macy's Day Parade. Every so often, they start doing it really now after Thanksgiving. They'll show like the 1960s Grinch and then the Jim Carrey Grinch right afterwards. But the main thing I watch, and this is, you can make fun of me all you want, but it's been just a tradition since I was little, is the National Dog Show. It comes on in between the parade, after the parade, but right before afternoon football. So it's just kind of, it's fun. It's to see what the top dog is in the United States. So it's one of my things that I always look forward to. So.
Is that live, the National Dog Show, or is it pre-recorded?
No, it's live.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of like a little nice thing that they do.
Nice. Well, number 4 for me is going to be, it's got something to do with the TV as well. But number 4, one of the good activities that I used to do growing up, and I still kind of do it now. I didn't do it last year, or no, I didn't do it the year before because of COVID. I don't even think it was a thing. But we would always, as a family, my parents would always put on the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade.
Nice.
And then I think that was like from 8 a.m. to like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I would go ahead and watch my very first Christmas movie of the season right after that parade. So I'll throw that in there as well. So
nice.
Yeah, and usually the parade would make me want to watch Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
With Richard Attenborough.
Oh, okay.
Which come at me, bro. But I think the remake is way better than the classic original.
To be honest with you, I've never seen the remake. I've just seen the original. So
I just love Richard Attenborough. He's always, if I could pick anybody actor wise to be Santa that's not Tim Allen, it would be him.
Yeah. Did you see the new Santa Claus show?
Fuck! I did not. I did not. I had so much on my plate this weekend, but I hear good things. Did you
Yeah.
watch it?
No, not yet. I've heard like you. I've heard really good things about it, and so I I never saw the third one. I've just seen the first two, so I'm kind of curious to see if that's if you can skip the third one or what.
Huh. You want me to run it down for you? The third one is complete
I,
dog. The third one's complete dog shit. Mass,
all I know it's like Jack Frost as Martin Short as Jack Frost or something like that. I'm
terrible.
good.
That's all you
I'm
need to
good.
know. Yeah. So it's bad. Martin Short as Jack Frost, and Tim Allen wins at the end. There you go. Number 3 for you, Zach. Zach is frozen again. Oh no. That's okay. We're having some technical difficulties here. Zach is completely frozen in time, just like the Disney movie, except he's not letting it go. But I guess I'll go for number 3 right quick while Zach is coming back and forth. Number 3 for me on my top 5 Thanksgiving activities will probably have to be man, you know what? It's probably gonna have to be going out and seeing like the lights. Um, whether it's the kids or whoever I try to take it go with me, it'd probably be the going out and seeing like lights here in locally here in the city. Um, there's a lot of good places to go see, and just whether I'm not a fan of driving through the lights. Um, I'm a huge fan of just going in and getting out of the car, freezing my ass off, and seeing the lights. I know nowadays you can stay in the car and drive through the the outside and look at the lights, but I'm not a fan of that. I like to get out, be cold, freeze my ass off, have some hot cocoa, and whoever I'm with walking through and checking out the lights. But Zach, that was my number 3 was going to like the festival of lights here locally and doing stuff like that.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, sorry.
3?
And the funny thing is, I didn't say that one movie that we talked about in the summertime, so I don't know what's going on. So 3 from It's Just Dinner, some turkey, some thing that we love, that we want for our Thanksgiving Day, and just enjoying some good old banana pudding at the end. So kind of making me hungry as we sit here now.
So what was your number 2? You kind of skipped out there.
Number 2 is going to be
number 3. Number 3. I'm sorry.
The dinner.
The dinner.
Yeah.
The actual Thanksgiving dinner.
Yep.
Man, you know what? If the dinner was not 1 or 2 on your list, I think you're doing something wrong, brother.
Mm-hmm. No, there's 2 other things.
So since I went last, go ahead and what's your number 2?
Number 2 is actually going to the movies. Believe it or not, it's just become a tradition. Me and my mom, we always go to see a film at Thanksgiving and Christmas. This year, we're going to go see Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans, which is getting a lot of buzz. So it's just not to get all into it, but it's just really me and my mom, family wise, and so we kind of made our own tradition. So that's what we do.
How excited are you for that new Steven Spielberg movie?
Oh man, just a couple more days, man.
You're gonna have to give it. I was gonna say you're gonna have to give it an A24 wangasm.
Yep.
I saw the trailer for the first time yesterday, and it looks really good. It kind of got me a little emotional. Number 2 is gonna be for me the dinner, but it's kind of 2 different things. The dinner, and then whether I'm at my sister's house or whether I'm at or whether I'm hosting a Friendsgiving. Before we eat, we don't pray. That might be some personal stuff that I'm pushing out there, but we don't do that. What I do is we like to stand up or just sit down and say what we're all thankful for. Just one thing. That's all that matters. So that's usually what it is for me. Wishing and everybody the best health and But that's number 2 for me is the meal itself and going around the table and saying what we're all thankful for. So
Nice.
this year might be a little bit different. I'm not too sure. It might be like Beetlejuice this year, where the shrimp come up and I don't know.
You might be Thanos on some people here in a couple days.
Hey man, but that's my number 2. What is your number 1 Thanksgiving activity that you like to do?
Number 1, truthfully, we haven't done it in a couple years, obviously because of COVID and everything. But number 1 is the Black Friday shopping. Me and my friends, we actually did it the first time we were in college, and it was so much fun. It was just seeing the insanity of Black Friday is always a pleasure to see people just knock people over some of the dumbest things.
Damn.
Especially at Walmart. But man, I was thinking about this today, kind of making this list, and Black Friday
it's over.
Really isn't even Black Friday anymore. They just kind of do it throughout the month,
which I love.
It's nice, but I mean, it's when our parents did it. I don't know if your parents ever did it, but stores wouldn't open till like 12 a.m.
Yeah.
But then they started pushing it back, and when we started doing it, it was like 10 o'clock at night, and then the last year before COVID, they opened like 7 o'clock in the evening. I was like, what's the point of that? And now it's just Black Friday is all month long through the month of November.
I don't know if you guys can tell. Let me just do this right quick. As a physical media collector.
Jesus Christ. Holy hell.
Again, I'll do that in instant replay in slow motion.
Oh.
If you're a physical media collector, Black Friday month is phenomenal.
Just, for you.
It's phenomenal because there's also that stack right there, as you can see.
Is that the newest stack?
The newest 3 stacks, yeah. But it's phenomenal because not a lot of people buy physical media anymore.
Yeah.
And then so for them doing this all month long, it's just like, thank you, you're amazing. COVID. I have to thank COVID for this, I guess.
You know what's funny? The Best Buy up there by Coil Springs, they don't sell Blu-rays no more.
Oh, really? Yeah, I got a letter from A24.
How nice.
Yeah. Thank you for going in debt and filing for bankruptcy because you spent all your money on Blu-rays.
Yeah. But that's my number 1 is just Black Friday shopping. It's always there's just a little part of me that just gets excited about it, and while it's not exactly what it used to be, it's still fun to do every so often. So
number 1 is Black Friday shopping. You bastard. You're that.
Listen.
That
you
guy.
took mine. You took mine last year. So you took mine last week. So it's payback.
You're that guy. And you know what? I got to throw some shade at fucking Big Lots.
Uh-oh.
Dude,
here's the rant of the day, guys.
Big Lots is gonna be, and I'll say them. I don't care. Big Lots is gonna be open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Thanksgiving Friday, or on Thanksgiving Thursday.
Wow.
Like everybody else is gonna be closed finally, but Big Lots are like, oh yeah, come get our stale candy and chips. So, yeah. But my number 1 Thanksgiving activity.
Hey, listen, you said you showed off some of yours. I'll show off some of mine. So
what'd you get
on 4K?
West Side Story. How much was that for?
$12.99.
Oh, that's still a little too much.
Thor: Love and Thunder. They actually price matched it. I got this for this and this for $10 each.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I just got done paying $24.99 for Thor: Love and Thunder on 4K.
Yep.
$10. And it didn't even come with a slipcase.
Oh, let me actually do this the right way.
Oh, nice.
So $12.99 each. So overall, those are pretty, in my opinion, pretty good buys.
Yeah, those are real good buys.
But other than that,
I don't.
We'll be here. We'll be here all night if you start going through yours.
No.
Through yours.
I got these socks the other day, so I just have to show off what my number 1. What my number 1
Oh,
is going to be Dallas Cowboys football. A little emotional story. My dad, that was the Thanksgiving Day tradition. Uh, Go across the street, play with your friends. I don't care what you do, but you're coming back here at 3:30 in the afternoon. You're gonna eat whatever's made, and you're gonna watch Dallas Cowboys play. Um, so it was really, really huge for us, for me growing up. Biggest activity of the week, of the month, November, every single Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday, 3:30 p.m. So it's number one for me, and it's gotten kind of almost like a little emotional every year since, because my dad passed away in 2014. So I it's been one of those things where it's like, man, it's fun, and then when they're on the roll like they have been this year,
yeah.
it's even better. So they're
They
playing.
they won yesterday, didn't they?
They did. They beat
Nice.
Minnesota 40-3.
Nice.
Yeah.
Damn.
So very, very interesting year, very fun year, and it's always good to sit down. So number one for me is just not even football, just the Dallas Cowboys. I don't care who else plays that day, whether they're trash or whoever they're playing. It's always that game. I don't
Nice.
watch any other game that day. So Black Friday shopping and Dallas Cowboys sounds like a good Thanksgiving, Zach.
It does.
So. But I think it's time to dig in to what we're talking about today. Today we're talking Denzel Washington again, which there's nothing wrong with that. Um, Today we're talking about the Hurricane, with a December 14th, 1999 release. The budget was $50 million, and it grossed a little over $74 million at the box office. IMDb has it at 7.6, Rotten Tomatoes at 83%, the Metascores at 74%, while the Google users have it at 93%. Um, the story of Reuben Hurricane Carter, a boxer wrongfully imprisoned for murder, and the people who aided his fight to prove his innocence. Um, Starring Denzel Washington, uh, Voluptuous Shannon, Deborah Unger, Liv Schreiber, John Hanna, Dan Hayda, Debbie Morgan, Clancy Brown, and directed by Norman Jewson. Zach, before we get into the film and talk about the movie, do you have a favorite movie maybe from the director, or would you probably say The Hurricane was right up there?
I'm gonna say probably The Hurricane is right up there. I've never actually seen In the Heat of the Night, which I've heard is a phenomenal film. Looking at some of his other films, A Soldier Story, which I think you've seen before. So
yeah, if I had to name off my only three that I've seen besides The Hurricane, it would be In Heat of the Night, Soldier Story, and Moonstruck.
Oh yeah, that's another one I haven't seen. So really the only one I've seen is The Hurricane. So I'll go with that one.
Moonstruck is really funny, really good. But let's dig into it. The first time versus now, or Zach, was this the very first time that you got to see this movie?
This is the very first time I've seen this movie. It's one that, on my list of Denzel films that, I've heard so much about. It was on the list to get done and watch before we do our top 5+5. And without giving my score away, I thought it was a phenomenal movie. So,
I'd probably say the same. This was my third time, my third full time watching it. And you know what? The performance was pretty amazing from Denzel. Some other cast members were pretty fun to watch. This second time around, though, I felt like it was a little lengthy than I remember it being last time. It's a 2 hour and 25-minute movie, but it did feel a little lengthy in this one.
I didn't feel that at all. To
No?
be honest, I get maybe because it was the first time watch. I was so invested in the story and not knowing anything about Reuben the Hurricane Carter. I was just on the edge of my seat trying to figure out what was the next thing that was going to happen.
Nice. What did you think of? being introduced, and this movie is based off of the novel, The 16th Round.
Yeah. Let's get into the movie. So the opening sequence, it's kind of intercut between Ruben doing one of his boxing fights and we kind of jump in the future and he's in one of the state prisons.
Yeah.
Did you like that? Did you like I think they were really trying to pay homage to not Taxi Driver, but
Raging Bull.
Raging Bull with the black and white and the boxing. So what do you think about it?
I have that in my notes as well. I loved the flashback scenes of him boxing and just the way it looked. It did feel like, you know, you were watching Raging Bull, or it just had that feeling in it. Man, it was a fun. I love the flashbacks, especially getting introduced to, you know, his unfortunate bad luck, and it's not really bad luck when you're being singled out. But that's where you kind of get introduced to everything.
That character of Della Pesca, just one of those rotten, slimy, just unforgivable type characters that you really wish that they had like some kind of horrible death by the end of the movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about some of the other cast members. I thought this was a phenomenal cast. A very underrated, not knowing of a cast. Yeah. Especially here in '99. Well, Liv Schreiber was pretty big. He was just coming off of Scream and Scream 2.
Yeah.
John Hannah was huge. He blew up in The Mummy.
Yeah, he had this and The Mummy the same year, so that's pretty big.
But the two I kind of did not fall in love with was the actress playing Lisa, and then Lesra.
Yeah,
I don't know if it maybe because he was just such a young unknown actor, but I did not fall in love with that character.
I liked him better than Lisa. I think what they were trying to do is kind of do like a parallel story of Ruben growing up, kind of being bullied, kind of being, you know, very much racially prejudiced against during that time, which, you know, was common. And then Lesra's childhood, he kind of grows up in this kind of not particularly good neighborhood. I think his father's out of his life. He doesn't want him to go to school and all this and that. And these, what would you say, like the group that like John Hannah, Liev Schreiber, what would you say that there are? Are they like they're not homeschoolers, but what would be a good name for them?
Man, I don't do that. So that's the kind of thing that I did not kind of get there. Who adopted who? And what house is he living in? So Lesra, do they all three live together?
Yeah, it's Lisa,
Sam, and Terry.
Yeah, they kind of adopt Lesra because Lesra is kind of in a difficult situation of he's really not getting
the education and the love and support that he needs.
Yes, and so they kind of take him on to not as what he thinks as just as like a social experiment. They really want him to thrive and achieve and do the best he can as a student, because I think from what they say in the movie, he is a gifted student. He's a gifted person that is good in school.
So yeah, I mean, that didn't confuse me any, but I thought the characters were okay.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this was more of it is a Reuben Hurricane story.
Yeah.
But I do kind of wish that there was some opportunities missed as far as
character development.
Probably, yeah. Maybe to get to know and I think that's why I felt that way about Lesra, was there really wasn't too much about him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of told us in the future, because it kind of goes back between flashback and present, and this movie jumps a lot in time, because it's kind of, for this to be a 2-hour and almost 30-minute movie, they really jump between like court cases, the time he's in prison, to what Lezra and his friends are doing to try to get him out of prison is just kind of, that's probably a nitpick of mine, but it's not enough to be like, oh, this ruined the movie. So
Yeah, I can see that. What did you think of some of the flashback scenes of Denzel's character, Reuben Carter, being like a young child, having to stab that guy who was being like a sexual like predator?
yeah, that
Some intense moments.
yeah, this movie, it does a really good job of not only making you kind of sympathize with these characters, but also kind of giving you a harsh reality of what um, some people go through in life. And so it's very, that sexual predator was terrible. The cop who is ultimately the bad guy, I guess you could say, in the movie. Dude, he just racially profiles him, and basically that's his target the entire film.
Yeah. This
I'm
isn't a rant.
surprised.
This isn't a rant, and I know I don't know if you're going into the same way, but were you about to say yours? I was about to say I'm surprised that this movie only got one nomination for an Oscar.
Yep.
And
And ask me who won that year.
hold on, and I'm surprised that Denzel did not win Best Actor for this role.
Yeah.
Who won that year, Zach?
You really want to know, or are you just gonna have like a stroke right on camera?
Does it have anything to do with Shakespeare in Love?
No.
Kevin Spacey?
Kevin Spacey for American Beauty.
Golly.
So, and honestly, with with Denzel's nominations, yeah, Training Day, Glory, but I think we say this with every Denzel Oscar nomination. He should have won because he gives a incredible performance. Most people
every time he's been nominated, he should have won that year.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Every single, I think more people know this movie than American Beauty. And definitely considering what's happened with Kevin Spacey, no one cares about him anymore. So
it just baffles me. And looking back at all this, he's been nominated 7 times?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal that out of 7 nominations, he's only got 2 to show for it.
Yeah. I just don't get that.
And you know what? I just the very last one I'm kind of scratching my head out was Fences.
Yeah.
With how good Casey Affleck is, and with how good Manchester by the Sea is, ain't no way anybody can hold Denzel's jockstrap when he's doing Fences.
He is nominated for Cry Freedom. He won for Glory. He was nominated for Malcolm X, The Hurricane, Training Day, Flight, Fences, which I think he was nominated for Best Actor and Best Director, or Best Picture, I'm sorry. Roman J. Israel Esquire, which I watched just not too long ago. He's phenomenal in that. And then, while both of us agree it's not the movie we want to go back to, but The Tragedy of Macbeth, man, he
was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I really, really loved King Richard, but Denzel, that should have been Denzel's award as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What'd you think of he gets and he gets captured and wrongfully accused. He gets 3 life terms, which is absurd.
Yeah.
And then right off the bat, he spends 90 days in the hole.
Oh man. And something I will say is there's a couple things, but surprised of all the justice, the racial reform, the situation, and everything. I'm surprised this movie hasn't had like a resurgence, to be honest, just because of the subject matter in this. Obviously, there's boxing, but there's real boxing in it. This is more, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah. It's basically the goggle scene where he's just kind of where it's kind of like he reverts back to his old self with her, and then the your body as a Rube. He doesn't take no shit. He's just kind of like nothing's gonna bring down. Did you like that kind of inner dialogue between the two?
I'm gonna answer your question right quick, but you're really cutting in and out really bad again.
I know.
Yeah, I thought it was really a fun scene, a really great dialogue by Denzel. I Yeah, man. And then you know what? In that scene where he spends 90 days in the hole, at first when you see Clancy Brown's character,
Yeah,
you think he's going to be somebody you hate.
he's the complete opposite of Shawshank.
Yeah, he's the complete opposite. And Clancy Brown just plays that role, whether he's a bad cop or a good cop. He just plays a character. He plays a security guard perfect.
Yeah, and Clancy Brown is someone that our generation and people younger probably know him as Mr. Krabs, which is weird to say, but he can play just a really good villain. Like the new Dexter series, Dexter's New Blood. Well, Dexter's New Blood. Well, I really wasn't a particular fan of the ending. He plays the villain in that, and he is so like you really want Dexter to just give him justice, basically.
Yeah. And then what did you think of the sequence where Reuben Carter loses the appeal, and then he makes that phone call to Lisa, and it's just like it almost sounds like he's given up.
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, like I said, I didn't know the story. I really thought that was just kind of like you pretty much summed it up of giving up, and I really thought he was going to commit suicide. To be honest, just the way the scene was played out, Reuben just all hope is gone from his eyes, and Denzel performs the hell out of that scene. I mean, it's just truly that's what a good actor can do.
Or what about the scene where he's at the glass and he's on the phone talking to the two people that are representing him,
Oh man,
and
yeah,
he's like, I spent 30 years in here. I'm 50. His dude, yeah, his dialogue is just something special.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did you like one of the other things I liked was the score to this. It was very jazz like. Jazz. I've listening to it a lot of years. Jazz can elevate, it can put you in a good mood. And I thought the use of worked perfectly, given some of the circumstances.
Yeah, Zach's asking about the score. I thought the score was really good. It definitely sets the tone for the movie, for the dialogue, for the scene, the story. Um, and it kind of leaves you guessing. The score does about, is it going to be happy? Is it going to be a sad ending? Um, you know, and then Lisa and Sam's car gets tampered with as well. So you have the scene where the car goes off the rails, and because obviously, they being Della doesn't want him for some reason. You've seen him throughout the whole movie. Well, we know why.
Yeah.
Not for some reason. We know why. But he just does not want Ruben to ever get out. So
There were parts of this movie, I think maybe because of the actor, the similarity to him, or maybe the makeup design. He kind of he kind of looked like Al Pacino a little bit, like. And for some reason, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Al Pacino could have played that role because he can be kind of that slimy bad guy.
Yeah. But they developed the whole new evidence, and they're telling Ruben, hey, if we don't go through the state court, we could go in front of the federal court and lose all of this evidence if the judge throws it out.
Yeah.
Very, very big risk, very big gamble, but it paid off. You have that classic feel good story at the end. Reuben Carter gets off scot free. What did you think of the ending going through? Did you feel like the ending was rushed? Because you don't get no courtroom drama until the last 20 minutes of the film,
and it's really just like a
it's
5-minute scene.
Yeah. Did you want more of a courtroom drama for the end, or were you happy with the ending?
I did. I really thought we would get like another like a good courtroom scene, and I thought we would have like a final confrontation between Ruben and Della, which I wasn't looking for like a shootout or anything, but just kind of like all right, you've won. Like everything I've done in my power to put you down, you beat me.
So was it just racism, or did it really ever say why he was just so fixated on wanting him behind bars?
I think it was racism. I think it was all based on racism.
I was almost putting my own story in my head. I was like, did he want him to fall down for a fight and he never did it or anything like that? But I think it was just pure hatred.
Yeah, I think it was pure hatred. I think it was totally based on racism, and I think that he, no matter what he did, no matter what Denzel could do to get out, Della was controlling the strings. And when he confronts our heroes outside the jail, he basically says, "You're outsiders. Get out of our country. Otherwise, there are powerful people that I could get to come after you."
Yeah.
So, did you think, watching this for the first time or the second time, whichever, did you think one of our core heroes was going to get killed or die in some way?
No, watching this, I didn't. It's the last thing I thought of. I thought of maybe somebody else. I thought of maybe Ruben dying, or maybe getting shanked or something. But I didn't think any of the core of people were gonna get killed off. I just didn't get that vibe throughout the entire movie.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? Did you think somebody's car was gonna blow up or something? Or
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, who I thought was going to go was Lisa. I think Lisa, who was, excluding Lesra, who was so invested in the story of Ruben and trying to get him freed. Lisa was the one that was kind of pulling the strings, helping put the puzzle together, get the new evidence. And I really thought they were going to kill her off, or I don't exactly know what happened in real life, but she wouldn't make it. She would not see the ending of all this.
yeah. Well, man, I think this movie, like I say, like you said, I think it has kind of gotten lost in the shuffle of just Denzel movies, natural history movies, or even just sport biographies or just biographies in general. I think if anybody's listening or watching, well, I know, whoever's listening and watching to this episode, do yourself a favor if you have some extra time this holiday week, seek out The Hurricane, and if you want to see, if you know Denzel for The Equalizer and The Equalizer 2, and maybe something like that, go check this out, because you're gonna be thoroughly surprised, and you're just gonna enjoy the dialogue and the conversations in this movie as Denzel as a person and as an actor. Man, in every scene he's in, he just jumps off of the table in this movie. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend this film, and go check it out. Go out of your way to check it out.
Yeah.
If I had to name a favorite scene for The Hurricane, it would probably be Lesra meeting Ruben for the first time in prison.
Mm-hmm.
He calls him little brother. He just the conversations between the two are just phenomenal. And then when Denzel is with his was it his girlfriend at the time, or his
Yeah.
wife, May Thelma, and she's like, is it their house was getting shot at, or
I think someone threw a brick through the window.
threw a brick through the window? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he picks up the little girl. His just man, you feel like you're watching something through a wall, because he's living that emotion through his acting. And then honestly, my favorite scene is when he's behind the glass and he's telling Bedlock, his attorneys, like, hey, it's been too long. I've been in here 30 years. I'm 50. Just man, phenomenal dialogue from Denzel. So what about you? Do you have a favorite scene or two?
Yeah, I'll agree with you on the 50-year-old conversation with his lawyers. The one that really got me was the high school diploma when Lesra sends it to him in the mail, and I think it really shows the impact that he's had on this kid. Just seeing Denzel just kind of open that up and just seeing just the emotion in his eyes, I thought was very powerful. The scene with Della and the Hurricane almost basically going at it in the morgue, where it says, "Yeah, I got you." It just said, "Yeah, you want something? Here's something right here," And honestly, it can be seen as a creepy scene, but the solitary confinement scene,
Yeah.
the fact that the two sides of himself, two sides of his personality go head to head and say, "Hey, we're not going to survive," and the other one's saying, "Yes, we are. You have to man up and let's go. Otherwise, yeah we are going to die here." So
Yeah. Man, just a phenomenal movie, guys. If you haven't seen this yet, go check it out. That's one thing I've enjoyed about picking out some of these Denzel movies is they're great Denzel movies, but they're also movies that maybe nobody's heard of or maybe nobody's really watched. In 2 weeks when we talk Man on Fire,
Yep.
that is a very popular Denzel movie from the early 2000s. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of really excited to talk about Man on Fire in 2 weeks. Um,
I did the rewatch, and it's a lot. I'm not saying it's similar to the Hurricane, but it's another 2 hour and 20-minute movie. So,
it's a lot of fun though, from what I remember last.
and you can watch it on Amazon Prime. So if you have
Amazon
that,
Prime. Zach, you said, but for the next movie though, you have to go to the library, or are you gonna just come get mine?
do you have it on? You have it on Blu-ray, don't you?
Yeah.
What kind of stupid question is that? Yeah, I got it on reserved at the library. They have like a trillion copies of it, which is kind of
Oh,
funny
nice.
to me. So I might just get it there. If it doesn't come in a certain time, I'll borrow yours. So
Yeah. So at least you know where you can get next week's movie. Next week we're talking about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Star rating for the Hurricane. I'm gonna give it. I know this seems kind of low, but for just honestly right now the way I'm setting at it because of the rewatchability that I did have with it last night, I'm gonna give it a 7. Um, for a 225-minute movie, it did kind of drag at times for me last night. But Denzel's performance it's amazing. So I'm gonna give this one a 7 for now as I sit on it.
am I
First time
frozen?
watch? No, first time watch for you, Zach.
First time watch for me. Denzel's performance, the subject matter, the actual not knowing the story of Reuben the Hurricane Carter. I'm gonna give it a 10, man. Absolutely
Nice.
loved it. I thought it was an awesome first time watch. The girthiness of this film didn't bother me because I was just so invested in the story and Denzel's performance. He won a Golden Globe, but face it, man, he should have won the Oscar. Let's
Yep.
just say it.
Yep.
So it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Nice. 10 out of 10 for you. I gave it a 7. Everybody out there in podcast land, let us know what your star rating is. We will do an email bag next week when we talk about the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So hit us up, CINEMEN921 at gmail.com for your email bag. That's Cine-Men921 at gmail.com. So
before we get out of here, man, Thanksgiving's Thursday. What are you thankful for, man?
I'm thankful that I get to talk the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers with you guys next Monday, right here on this podcast. No, in all seriousness, that's what we're talking about next week. Is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie? Zach, what I'm thankful for right now is just honestly, you guys. You guys aren't all here. I'm thankful for my 2 healthy kids right now. Thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for a great job. And at the end of the day, I'm thankful for all the new amazing people that have entered my life. And I'm thankful for the air that are in these lungs. Because you know what? I could be 6 feet deep.
Yep.
But yeah,
let's face it, he'd still be doing podcasts if he was 6 feet deep.
Technically, I am almost.
Oh,
6 feet into something.
Oh
no. I'm thankful for everything right now, guys. But and you guys, I have a great support system behind the scenes, whether it be you guys, people here at the house, or the job. And don't ever let anybody tell you that never put in hard work or dedication to a job because it won't pay off, and they'll just they'll replace you as much as they can find you if something happens to you. That may be true because let's face it, at the end of the day, it is a business. Yeah. But I'm telling you, I've been at this place for 6 years. I've put in some hard work. I've met some really, really amazing people. And every single piece of blood, sweat, and tears that I've put in, I've gotten back from them. So, and today proved a lot of it to me as well. So, even though there's a lot of ugly people in this world and a lot of bad things happen, I'm grateful for the support system that I have. What about you, Zach? What are you thankful for?
Truthfully, man, I'm I'm thankful to be alive right now. You know, I know there's a lot of shit going on in the world. A lot of it mostly bad. You know, there's some people that can't even afford electricity right now. They can't afford heat. It's freezing. We're about to go into Oklahoma winter and it's not pretty. I'm thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for my job, which I didn't really tell you guys this, but I was kind of hesitant about going back to the place I'm at now just because of the past bull that's gone there. But I love my job. I love my coworkers. It's a great environment. And let's be face it, you know, could it be better? Absolutely. You know,
Oh yeah.
could it be better in my life? Could it be better in your life? Absolutely. But at the time, you know, we got to deal with the cards that we're given. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're awesome, and sometimes they just plain suck. But you just have to take them and just go along with the ride. So,
As a once great boxer once said, it's not about how many times you got hit. It's about how hard you can take that hit and get back up and keep going.
yeah.
So, like I said, I'm very thankful for everybody. I'm thankful for you guys. Email us. Let us know what you guys are thankful for this week, and we'll share it on next week's episode. Because it is that time of year. Even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, just let us know what you're thankful for. It could be anything. So send us in some emails. It's right here on the screen again. If you guys want to do the social media, send us in the emails at CINEMEN921. I'm just really thankful and proud of everybody that I've come in contact with the last few years and a few weeks here. So, and you know what? Everybody watching on Emaswa Productions, all you guys that were on the stream, I won't name out names, but everybody that I've talked to on this YouTube channel, you're in that list as well. I'm thankful for all of you guys as well, even though I personally have not met any of you in person. The hard work and dedication I see from everybody on this YouTube channel, I think you guys are amazing. I love the hell out of you guys and everybody watching, everybody who supported us the last 4 years. This has been an amazing ride. It's far from over. And next week, we talk the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right here on the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a
Happy
good safe week.
Thanksgiving.
There we go. Go Cowboys.